Era at Leeds United. They're up against Manchester City. They're being watched by Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Robbie Fowler plays against the club who, according to rumours, are still paying part of his wages. He spent 14 months at Leeds before joining Manchester City just over a year ago. He still keeps in touch with many of the Leeds players, including his old Liverpool pal Dominic Matteo, who'll be marking him tonight. Plenty of Scouse banter flying around between those two, I imagine. Referee Alan Wiley. There's never been a red card in the 13 Premiership meetings between these clubs, but there have been plenty of goals, and with two of the division's leakiest defences, that's a trend that seems likely to continue here tonight. If Leeds win, they'll just be 2 points away from safety, and defeat would leave Manchester City only 3 points clear of danger. It really is a very important fixture. And what's been a very odd day, I would imagine, for all concerned with Leeds United. Eddie Gray delighted to see things settle for the moment anyway off the field, and he can concentrate now on his job on the field. Sobieski beaten to the header, and Pennant misjudging the bounce. Tarnack plays it back in, away by Caldwell. What should I say about Leeds? Life is never dull for their supporters, is it? In the last couple of years, they've seen 3 different managers, 4 different chairmen, and they've lost count of the number of players who've come and gone. And when you think the club was, just 1 match away from the dizzy heights of the Champions League final, now possibly just a few games away from relegation to the Nationwide League, I don't think any soap opera can come up with such an implausible script as that. Phillips back doing the defensive job that he does so well. Kevin Keegan singing his praises this week and believing he's a candidate for the England squad for the European Championships. Good take from David James, who has some stitches inserted in a knee wound he suffered in the Manchester derby. Distant, captain. Straight onto the head of Caldwell. McPhail. Bounce off the referee, took it straight to Sobieski. Barton restored to the City midfield for a competitive match, the kind he really enjoys. Dunn onto Anelka, back in the ranks, remember, after half a dozen games out. Good passing here by Manchester City. Fowler, Oswald, onto Barton again. City win it back once more. Clearance by Gary Kelly under pressure from Fowler. Smith's header. Leeds just can't get a grip of the ball at the moment.
Well, Kevin will be delighted with so far their start. They've kept the ball well. I think that's always important at the opening stages, especially when you're the visitors. Of course, we were at St James's Park on Saturday, and Charlton conceded a goal so early in the game, and it really does set you back. You come with a game plan to make it difficult. Man City so far have looked pretty impressive.
There's Sobieski. Trying to feed it into Anelka. Clearance was by Matteo. McPhail onto Viduka. Now he can't hold it for long either. City have started as though they're the home team here. Fowler beaten to it by Matteo. Seth Johnson onto the loose ball. A bit too much on that, I would think, from Milner, but he's going to do his best to reach it.
It should have been a lot easier pass to make that. Seth Johnson did very well, James Milner, just to keep the ball alive.
Johnson wins it back off Fowler. Caldwell and Matteo. This is better from the home team's point of view now. And they're taking it in his stride. And it came off Dunn. It's a corner, first of the game.
I'm not convinced of either of the City defenders there. I just wondered whether James Milner slightly overrun it. Did well to try and dig out across from the position that he was in. But already they're trying to exploit that little gap in behind Sean Wright-Phillips. Always difficult when you're a wing back, because you're trying to push on, you're trying to get forward, And that's when you're looking for your right-sided centre-back to come across and cover that ground. And Richard Dunn, it'll be interesting to see how he copes with James Milner if Leeds can get him free.
Looks like an in-swinging corner on the way. And swung in eventually, but rather too late to catch any of the posse of Leeds players waiting.
He's been playing very well of late, Jermaine Pennant. We're disappointed with his delivery from the corner there, but he can cause Manchester City problems. They get the ball to his feet, they get him running at Tana.
There's Smith. Came off distant. The Duca, excellent control. The City captain wins it back again, but at the expense of a throw-in. Manchester City have won 2 of their last 3 games against Bolton and, of course, Manchester United, but they're still only 16th, just 3 points above the relegation places. Smith's header on. Johnson couldn't get in a shot. And now City break dangerously with Barton and Fowler. And Anelka ahead of him in space here. Offside though.
Good defending, good defending. Dominic Matteo, good experience, just held the line. Nicholas Anelka very eager to get in behind this back four. Good break from City. You see Robbie Fowler, and that's when Nicholas Anelka goes just slightly early. Look at that Dominic Matteo's position there. Knows exactly where Anelka is. Knows exactly he's going to be offside. Good defending.
Robinson looking for Smith and finding him. It's a goal kick. Still a lot of speculation, of course, about the future of players like Mark Viduka, Alan Smith, Paul Robinson, the 3 obvious candidates to be sold at the end of the season. The new regime have only promised that there will be no more outgoings this season.
The problem is that you've got so many players on big salaries here, and you can understand, they really have lived above their means, Leeds United, over the last 4 or 5 years. And you think of the likes of Paul Robinson, as you've already mentioned, Alan Smith, Mark Viduka. It'll be a great shame once more for the Leeds fans, because they're your best players.
Viduka racing back to defend this City free kick. Brilliantly delivered one, almost onto the head of Sibierski.
He did very well, Mark Viduka. I just wonder whether he was a player that should have picked up Anton Sibierski. Good delivery in from Tarnack. You expect that. Paul Robinson just urging his defenders to get up to the 18-yard line. A pretty good line there. The delivery's good, but have a look at Sibierski there. I'm not convinced that Didier Domi is doing a particularly good job there. And if you allow Sibierski that type of time and room, we've seen it only the other week when it was his little flick on to Robbie Fowler when they got the first goal, City against United.
Here's Anelka. Poor ball. It'll take him a while to regain his match sharpness, obviously, and Anelka has not been able to play too much reserve football either. Here's Kelly for Leeds United. Failed to Pennant. Determined to get there ahead of Smith. Leeds with only 1 win in their last 12 Premiership games. That was the 4-1 victory here against Wolves over a month ago. They've drawn 4 and lost 7 in that spell. Failed. Smith left it. And Viduka couldn't keep possession. Wright Phillips for Manchester City. Milner having to backtrack quickly. They got a good challenge in. So did the defender behind him, Didier Domi.
That's going to be important. I talked about Sean Wright Phillips bombing forward for Manchester City. So while James Milner will want to go forward from an attacking sense, he's also going to have to protect Didier Domi, because we've seen over the course of this season how well Sean Wright Phillips has played for Manchester City. Such a threat on that right-hand side. So much energy, bombing up and down the line.
Enormous clearance by Robinson. Dunn has misjudged it slightly. And that was a very dangerous challenge. The Leeds fans believe it was dangerously enough to merit a penalty, but the referee doesn't agree.
The referee's very close, And Mark Viduka does what he should be doing, and that's backing into the defender. It was very clumsy by Richard Dunn. He got away with it. I don't think it was a convincing enough challenge to persuade the referee to give a penalty. But you are always going to run the risk, and the difficulty that Richard Dunn had in the first place was just didn't deal with the clearance from Paul Robinson.
Fail to Kelly. Again, Robinson getting enormous distance on the clearance. Right foot has belted it straight against his own player, Dunn.
It's a head injury. The referee quickly on the spot. Well, Richard Dunn had a very uncomfortable couple of moments, hasn't he? Very nearly gave a penalty away, and then he cops one right in the face. But this is where you could see where Mark Viduka clearly going for the ball. I think he's got eyes for the ball. It's a very clumsy challenge. And I tell you what, there's a few anxious Manchester City players looking at the referee, Mr. Wiley. This is the one that just after that, oof, have some of that, Richard. Not really what you want on a cold Yorkshire evening.
Cleared the head anyway. Having a long run in the first team over the last few months, Richard Dunn. This is his 28th start in a row for them.
He's done well, hasn't he? He had a few problems at the beginning of the season, and one time it looked as if he was going to leave the football club, but he seems as if he's got his head together, concentrating on his football.
Johnson. Tarnat in to deny Pennant. Leeds currently 12 points worse off than the equivalent stage last season when they finished 15th, which was their lowest place for 10 years. Domi. Johnson. Pennant. And McPhail again. Kelly hesitated as Sibierski closed him down. Colwell to Domi. Milner on the left touchline. Just comes inside Wright Phillips cleverly and finds Viduka. But Wright Phillips took up an excellent position. Fowler. Good layoff to Bosvelt. And Anelka feeds it back to Robbie Fowler. Anelka. Tarnat has gone into the penalty area and comes in here. That's why Pennant had to win that header. Van Boyten. Well, it's done. Then on to Tarnat again. Sibierski. Barton. Certainly played some excellent football in these opening stages, Manchester City. Barton winning it back for them again. And spots Wright Phillips. Great ball for Wright Phillips. Well, the form he's in, you would have expected him to score.
Well, what a fabulous ball from Joey Barton. Good passage of play again from Manchester City. Just zipping the ball around, keeping good possession, and then he spots the pass. It's a clever little run by Sean Wright Phillips. How many times do you see players running offside in situations like that? But he kept himself onside. He looked as if he'd kept his composure, but that ball has got to come back across the face of the goal. Instead, he misses a good opportunity.
He scored that stunner late on against Manchester United, of course, from a much more difficult position than that. That was his 9th goal of the season. Here's Fowler. On by Barton. This time he almost released Anelka. There's one for Milner to chase again, and look who's back defending.
That'll be a good battle that between those two. Two very promising youngsters. A lot of good judges in the game feel that both Sean Wright Phillips and James Milner have got excellent careers ahead of them. And I think they're both trying to outdo each other at the moment. This is a good opportunity for Leeds. This is the type of areas where you want to have free kicks. Looking to bend this towards a penalty spot. It's important as a goalkeeper, you get your defenders in the correct line. Give yourself a little bit of space if you have to come and claim.
To take it. David James claimed it. Good goalkeeping that. Smith Taken off him by Barton. Here's Bosvelt. Not the ball that Fowler was hoping for, but he's been strong against Milner. Wright Phillips finds Fowler again. Barton, another good ball. Tarnat, and in the end, he couldn't keep it on the field.
And again, though, the two wing-backs getting forward. And that's so important to Manchester City to win the game here this evening, because we know that they've both got good delivery, Tarnat and Sean Wright Phillips. And already we've seen Wright Phillips come very close.
Against Barton, and already Leeds have taken the free kick too quickly and from the wrong position. So Barton, who presumably said something to Mr. Wiley, is giving a ticking off. Remember, he talked himself into trouble earlier this season with that red card he received in the FA Cup tie at Spurs. Not like Scousers to talk themselves into trouble, actually, is it?
You always manage to do it.
Quarter of an hour gone at Ellen Road. Leeds 0, Manchester City 0. Smith with a great header, but too much on it for Viduka in the middle.
There's just been bits and pieces from an attacking sense, hasn't it, for Leeds United? I do think that the three central midfield players for Manchester City have done a very good job. It's tough for Seth Johnson and Stephen McPhail in that area, because you've got the likes of Sibieski, Barton and Bosvelt, so they're clearly going to get outnumbered. Because City have kept the ball reasonably well, it's been in that area of the field that they've done it.
Pennant, still on loan, of course, from Arsenal. That loan's been extended more than once. Domi. Johnson. That's a good ball for Smith.
He's getting lucky, isn't he, Alan Smith? It's a clever ball by Seth Johnson. Just looking for the run of Alan Smith, and very nearly delivers a perfect ball. I think these are the areas where Leeds United need to get the ball. Really try and get Pennant 1v1 against Tarnat, Milner against Sean Wright Phillips on the other side, and begin to stretch Manchester City.
It is Milner. Wright Phillips wins it back. Fowler. Now Caldwell for Leeds United. Gary Kelly. McPhail, who's been restored to the Republic of Ireland squad today, by the way, for the friendly against the Czech Republic in Dublin next week.
There's another good opportunity for Pennant to deliver. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with a cross for the front two, Smith and Viduka. Talked about Stephen McPhail, he brings a lot of composure in that midfield area. So it's a little bit tough for them because they're getting outnumbered. It's important that either Pennant and Milner at times just tuck in and help the two of them in there.
Robbie Fowler. Smacked against the shins of his pal Matteo. Sibieski, good ball. Anelka, unusual control for Fowler. It's gone back towards the Frenchman, who's still hovering with intent. Now Robbie Fowler again, tried to set it up for Wright Phillips. There's only set up a Leeds counter-attack. Milner. McPhail. Domi. All the options seem to be well marked, and City strong at the back. Now Anelka. Fowler. Sibieski. He's got Tarnat to his left. Anelka ahead of him, and he was the choice. Pennant has run into trouble and was very relieved to hear the whistle go. Sibieski adjudged to have fouled him.
He's a bit unlucky, isn't he, Sibieski? Jermaine Pennant just showing him a little bit too much of the ball there. And Sibieski thought he could just have a little nibble, and Pennant, quick feet, just nicks the ball away from the City midfield player. It's amazing, we've only really seen one clear-cut chance from Sean Wright Phillips, because some of the football from both sides has been very good indeed. Passing has been clever, it's been slick. from that one.
Leeds have only won 5 of their 28 Premiership games so far. Remarkable to think that it was, just 4 years ago when they finished 3rd in the Premiership, and it wasn't that long ago, 12 years I think, when they were champions of England. They almost went bankrupt. There's Distan. Sibierski, lovely layoff to Barton, but I was expecting a lot of the Frenchman with the return ball, Joey Barton. Poor clearance by Caldwell, straight to Tarnack. Matteo to Leeds rescue.
Well, I talked at the top that I thought Man City would be a threat coming here tonight. They're playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. Certainly not what you'd expect, the sides close to the bottom of the table, but really their racing run, especially that win over Manchester United, has given them a lot of confidence. Kevin King will be delighted with the opening 20 minutes or so.
This team have a corner. And Boyton and Distan, and indeed done, all 3 centre-backs are forward. And it was the player on loan, Daniel Van Boyton, who won the header.
It's a decent ball into Turner. Perhaps Seth Johnson just does enough to put off Van Boyton. You know, he's such a commanding presence, isn't he? And when he comes forward for set pieces, then you've really got to mark him perhaps a little bit better than what we've just seen there.
Off the Duca. It almost came back to him. Good challenge though by Distan. Barton has given it away to Johnson in midfield. McPhail, Smith, Viduka, clever ball for Milner. And Smith well placed in the middle. David James with an excellent punch clear. Pennant. He stumbled, but according to the linesman, it was a foul by Tarnack.
Moments earlier, David James did very well again. I've got to say his decision-making so far has been very good. He's come for the type of balls that he knows he can get close to. He hasn't been found wanting. And again, this is another good position for Leeds. They've had a couple of these so far.
McPhail will take the kick. No one more surprised than the scorer, I think.
Well, incredible, isn't it? I think Stephen McPhail will be the player. I'm not sure where Alan Smith got a touch on it. I think they're just asking each other. And I'm sure Stephen McPhail will be claiming this. He talked about the quality in from these set pieces, so important. And there you can see, really, the goalkeeper's got no chance. Absolutely no chance, because that may well come off anybody, or, which has happened on this particular instance, has cleared both players, and David James then is scrambling to try and keep this out. I wonder whether Alan Smith's going to claim it. But it's a good ball, it's right in the danger area. It's right on the button, just where you're looking for set pieces to be played. So difficult for the keeper. Can't really come because he's got so much pace on, good direction.
Well, it's not only his first league goal this season, it's his first ever goal at Ellen Road, if he's credited with it. The only goals he's ever scored in the first team were at Chelsea over 4 years ago, and he scored 2. But the spiky, dyed blonde hair of Smith might just have made the merest contact, and Smith, being a goal scorer, will claim it, I'm sure. Here's Kelly. Smith. Played back to him by Viduka. And Smith showing his usual aggression and determination.
Well, I said really Leeds hadn't looked particularly threatening in this opening period, but it's a very good ball in from Stephen McPhail. Very clever. I'm not convinced Smith has got an awful lot on that. I think that's a goal for Stephen McPhail, and David James has got no chance really. Once that ball beats Alan Smith, and he's just scrambling and hoping. Very nearly gets close to making a save, to be fair to David James.
1-0 to Leeds United.
At this stage, and given the fact that the problems Leeds United have got, it doesn't really matter who scored. The scoreline's the most important thing at this stage, and that's 1-0 to the home side.
Proved to be a very good day indeed for Leeds. It certainly did come off Smith's head.
Well, we're back to this problem again, aren't we? Player offside, not offside. I actually think James Milner's probably made a lot of ground to get back onside as he's kicked it there. Well, he's close. Has he distracted the goalkeeper? Ooh, well, Mr. Wiley had a good look at it.
Of course, it was Bolton Wanderers who exploited that particular loophole, which allegedly has been closed off since.
There'll certainly be a lot of debate about it again. Looking at that again, it didn't look as if he got himself back onside.
Manchester City, despite an excellent start in terms of their approach play, find themselves a goal behind here at Allen Road. Here's Matteo. Domi. And Gary Kelly in his 13th season here at Leeds United. I don't suppose he's ever seen a campaign quite to match this in all those years.
This is his experience that really Leeds United are banking on at the moment to get out of this mess. But you know, you shouldn't rule Manchester City out because they have played some very good football.
Anelka, I think it's very noticeable that he's been out for a while.
Yeah. He's off the pace at the moment, and it's understandable. 6 games that he's missed through injury and suspension. He really failed to pick the pace of this game up so far.
Clearance keeps Leeds under pressure until Caldwell heads it away. Handball there, wasn't it?
Dropped the shoulder, didn't he, Stephen McPhail? I think he thought that it may just have hit his chest or the very least the top of his arm. But now Manchester City, we talked about dangerous set pieces being in a good area of the field. Well, Man City will fancy this. Anelka's over there, Tana. This is really important. Paul Robinson gets his wall absolutely spot on.
Well, the German international Michael Tarnat has scored some spectacular free-kick goals in his career. Robinson will know all about that. Might be a difficult angle for the left-footed player, so keep an eye on Anelka. The wall did.
It's good direction for Nicholas Anelka. Just have done with that a little slightly higher, because I think that would have come very close if he just managed to get that over the wall. But the wall did its job. That's what it's there for, to protect the goalkeeper from situations like that. It's been a very interesting opening half an hour, hasn't it, for Stephen McPhail? And now he gets a bloodied nose for his troubles, but he did his job very well indeed in the wall. That was hit with a lot of pace, and I didn't know an awful lot about that, Stephen McPhail.
He hasn't had too many chances over the last couple of seasons to claim a regular first-team slot, McPhail. He's probably only in the side at the moment because Eirik Bakker is out injured. He has played over 100 matches for Leeds, and I think, as you said, Brian, he's got that lovely balance and touch in midfield. Sometimes the hurly-burly of the relegation battle, perhaps not his real arena.
No, he's got good composure, and I think he's got good quality when he's on the ball. He never seems to be rushed into making passes. And you know, he went on loan to Nottingham Forest this season. I think it's important that he got a little bit of first-team football under his belt, but I'm sure that he'll want to be playing regularly for Leeds United.
It's only his 7th appearance of the season for them. Bosvelt with a strange ball back. Dunn didn't do him any favours, however. David James coped very well. Fails back on the field now. As Fowler finds Anelka, Barton, Bosvelt. It's a good ball out from Colwell if Milner can reach it. Wright Phillips. Dunn. Oh, clever skills.
Need to regain that composure again, Manchester City, that they showed for the first 15-20 minutes or so. Lucas Anelka still struggling to pick up the pace of this football match. But, some of their passing has been very good, but they've only really had the one threatening opportunity, and that was Sean Wright Phillips, who really ought to have done better with the chance that he had.
And helps it on to Gary Kelly, who goes early for Smith, but the linesman's flag has been raised for offside. Referee just waiting to see if City can break, which they couldn't, so he brings them back for the free kick.
They did the right thing, Mr. Wiley. I think you and I are always quite impressed with the referee, and we've seen him. He's not fussy, doesn't try to always be stopping play, and I think you just seen there how he tried to let Manchester City in possession, get forward.
Anelka's header on. Duca. And Boynton and Smith going for the same ball. Johnson coming in late with his challenge. City's free kick. City have beaten Leeds only once in the last 4 meetings between these two sides. They drew 1-1 at the City of Manchester Stadium in December, and Leeds won 3-0 here on the opening day of last season. Bosvelt. Distan on to Sibierski. Speed to keep going as well, and find Smith, and Boynton nips in to win it back. Tarnack. Sibierski. Good claim for handball from the home fans. Anelka.
Well, he's not his night at the moment, but you can't rule out Nicolas Anelka. He's such a good player, been such an important player for Manchester City this season. 19 goals.
Champions League week, of course. Chelsea against Arsenal is live on Sky Sports 2. The programme on Wednesday night begins at 6. And you can also watch Real Madrid against Monaco. Also a 6 o'clock start. That's on Sky Sports Extra. And the winners, of course, of those two-legged ties will meet in the competition's semi-finals. Sibierski. Good header away, but it's fallen kindly for Wright Phillips. Barton, and the free kick has been given for the earlier challenge by Seth Johnson.
Well, that was a great shame, you know, because James Milner did a brilliant job against Sean Wright Phillips. Really did track him back, worked hard, made the tackle, looked as if they'd got possession again, Leeds United. And now giving away a free kick. And you'd certainly fancy Tarnack from this type of area. More central with his left foot. I'm sure that he'll fancy his chances from here.
He's backing away with intent.
This is where Paul Robinson does have to get his wall right. And that wall has got to stay big and strong and brave, because if Tarnack does whack it, we can be sure there'll be a lot of power behind it.
Here he comes. Oh, against the foot of the post. It deflected off the wall and was literally a hair's breadth away from finding the net. Wright Phillips. It's a good ball in. Van Boyten couldn't get there, nor could Sibierski. Straight back in from Tarnack. And now Barton has presented it to Leeds United's Milner. Wright Phillips. He wasn't going to give it up without a battle with McPhail.
very nearly got back on level terms. I talked about the wall being very strong, brave. I'm not convinced that when Eddie Gray sees that again, he'll be too happy with the players that are in the wall. Just doing enough, isn't he, Bosvelt? And I think it's Domi, really, that just puts out the knee half-heartedly. Very nearly cost Leeds United. I know that he can strike them. A lot of power in that left foot, Michael Tarner.
Domi. Way to done.
I bet Leeds United would have wanted that ratio during the course of this season. 1 goal attempt, 1 goal. Not bad, is it? And we think that's the player that's got it. Stephen McPhail from the free kick.
Leeds before tonight had only managed 26 goals in 28 league games. Only Wolves have scored fewer. Now it's broken kindly for Anelka.
Good save, good save. But, you know, the two centre-backs really need to be dealing with things a little bit better than this. You know, Colwell and Matteo certainly get mixed up there, and the chance falls to Nicholas Anelka. That was better from him, because up to now, he looks very much out of sorts.
Milner, Viduka. Anelka has it back for City. He's just getting far too easily dispossessed in those situations. Didier Domi. Easy clearance for Van Boy. Fowler. Belated whistle, giving Manchester City the free kick.
Well, again, I think the referee, Mr. Wiley, felt that Manchester City had possession. And when Leeds look as if they've got it back, he's done the right thing. He's brought it back to where the foul was committed, which it was, McPhail on Barton.
There's Distan. Bosvelt. Now Van Boy on to Dunn. Conceding goals, of course, an ever-present problem, it seems, for Manchester City, who've managed just 1 clean sheet in their last 14 games. In their recent 0-0 draw at home to Birmingham, they've conceded 41 times now in the Premiership this season.
Well, certainly Kevin will be delighted with the amount of possession that his side have enjoyed during this first half, but a little bit disappointed. They haven't really looked as if they've had a cutting edge in the final third. You know, the strike from Tarnat from the free kick, and of course the opportunity Sean Wright-Phillips had before Leeds United got on the score sheet.
Of course, they have won more away games this season than matches at the City of Manchester Stadium. 4 on the road. Distan. Sobieski touched it away from Fowler. Loose clearance by Milner. Now Bosvelt. And back by Johnson. Joey Barton now for City.
They're just having that spell again, aren't they, Manchester City? And again, it's that midfield area, that little triangle.
Just kept the foot in the challenge there with Barton. Just did enough. There's Barton again, though. On to Robbie Fowler. It took a deflection, and that so easily could have taken it into the net.
Well, it's an excellent passage of play, isn't it, from Manchester City? Played some lovely stuff. They really have passed the ball around well, but just have a look at the space here Joey Barton gets to pick the ball up and drive at the heart of this Leeds United defence. It's a deflection from Colwell. It's an important deflection.
Defending from the corner. There's Barton. Fowler. Van Boyten. Wow. Might get some kind of award for the worst shot of the season.
That's why he plays at the back. think if he realised how much time and room he could have had a touch and then perhaps lined up the strike.
Well, the new chairman, Gerald Krasner, on the left there, enjoying mixing it with the high company inside the director's box at Ellen Road tonight, Mr. Scudamore, and of course the England coach. Foul by Van Boyten on Viduka. Fail has scored one from a free kick. Is it going to be one of those nights? Remember, the only other time he scored for Leeds, he got two in one match.
Perhaps a little bit too far out for him. You know, what he does possess is that cunning ability with that left foot. Perhaps not as much power, certainly not as much as Tana, who was a similar distance when he hit the post.
Chips this one up instead and straight onto the head of Distan. Now Johnson's giving it away to Bart. Clever ball out. Boswell. Johnson racing back to make up for his error, which he did.
Very well, Seth Johnson. So important that the midfield players protect the back four, and I think the four across midfield have done that very well. Pellin, Johnson, McPhail, Milner, they've all done their bit tonight. I talked about defensively Leeds need to get back to basics. Well, they've done that. You know, they've made it very difficult, or as difficult as they possibly can, try to protect the back four.
Fowler tries his luck.
And the mood that he's been in recent weeks, and why not? Certainly fancies whenever he's close to goal on that favoured left foot.
6 goals in his last 10 Premiership appearances for Robbie Fowler. Smith gets it back from Pennant. He runs it over the line.
Well, I'm sure Kevin Keegan, when he looks at the likes of goal attempts and the amount of possession that they've had, he can't quite believe that they haven't really created too many clear-cut chances.
This could be one now. No, just too long for Robbie Fowler from Dunn's through ball. Well, I mentioned Manchester City's inability to keep a clean sheet. Leeds haven't kept one since Boxing Day, a total of 10 games. And they've let in 55 goals. Again, only Wolves have a worse record than that. Stands back header. I'm not sure he was intending that, but it's turned out very well. Tarnak, Sobieski. Huge throw by Distant. Smith was supposed to have fouled Distan there. The linesman gave that one.
It feels that he had hold of Sylvain Distan and didn't allow the City defender to jump and make the challenge.
Kevin Blackwell, the Leeds coach, not too happy with that decision.
It's a surprise, you see it up and down the country every week, don't we?
There goes Robbie Fowler again. Tarnak, Barton. Sobieski to Anelka. Good effort! Brilliant goal! That's what makes a quality striker. He's had a really quiet return to the first team, and then in an instant he proves why he's such a class act.
I'll write him off at you, Peril. Again, good build-up play from Manchester City. Colwell can't really get the ball away from his final third. It's a clever little touch, isn't it, from Sobieski, and then Nicholas Anelka. I'm sure everybody was expecting him to put it into Paul Robinson's left-hand corner. Instead, he puts it to Robinson's right. It's a fabulous strike. Goalkeeper can do nothing about it. It's back across the face of the keeper. And he said he was out of sorts, but well, he has the chance The first real chance that has fallen to him. His general all-round play hasn't been great. But well, he's scored enough goals wherever he's been to say that you just cannot write off Nicholas Anelka. And City have deserved this. I think with their general play has been very good indeed. And they've dominated the possession. They've had the better openings without seriously troubling Paul Robinson.
Paducah. Now done for Manchester City. A misunderstanding there momentarily between Robinson and Caldwell, the keeper's rescue act. A huge clearance, this won't count because the linesman, who's now twice given free kicks for shirt pulling by Alan Smith, has decided he was offside.
I think what he's trying to say, if that ball went to James Milner, then he wouldn't have flagged. It was because Alan Smith was coming back from an offside position. You can see there, he doesn't get himself onside. I think they wait and wonder whether the ball's going to go to Milner, and eventually does, but it's Alan Smith that has the touch. So, again, it's a good decision.
Of stoppage time. Manchester City's equaliser coming at the perfect moment for them. But now they've got some defending to do. Dunn's clearance has only gone to Viduka, who's done brilliantly to retain possession there. And then not so brilliantly with the cross.
What a great waste. But I've got to say, whenever Paul Robinson has kicked the ball long, the three centre-backs have really struggled to deal with it, which is quite surprising because they're three commanding figures at the heart of that City defence. Viduka does very well initially, and I'm thinking once he's gained possession, then go and have a little run at the other centre-back, but that didn't happen.
At half-time at Ellen Road, courtesy of Nicholas Anelka's 20th goal of the season and his 9th in his last 10 appearances. Before that, Stephen McPhail scored his first goal for 4 years, unless Alan Smith tries to claim it from him. A good, competitive half. Plenty to come here in the second 45 minutes at Ellen Road. As we reach the interval, they're level at 1 goal each. Believes that Leeds' home form is the key to their survival in the Premiership. This is one of 5 games left at Ellen Road. After tonight, they play Leicester, Everton, Portsmouth and Charlton here. They've got away games against Birmingham, Blackburn, Arsenal, Bolton and Chelsea. Incidentally, we checked with Alan Smith as he reappeared for the second half. Was it your goal or McPhail's? He grinned, as he's grinning now, and said, "Of course it's mine." So I think we'll give it to McPhail.
He just put a bit of extra gel on as well, just to try and hammer home his case for the goal.
No question about Anelka's equaliser for Manchester City. And that goal means that we start all level here in the second half. 3 of Leeds' 5 Premiership wins have come here at Ellen Road. They've beaten Blackburn, Fulham and Wolves here. They have lost 6 times at home this season. Foul on Anelka by Matteo.
It's a daft one, isn't it? Dominic Matteo, lead skipper there. Again, giving an opportunity for Manchester City with the left foot of Tana to come over to the right-hand side and try to arrow that ball in towards the penalty spot.
Sobieski, an obvious threat. It's gone in towards him. What a save! He tried to turn the rebound back in and couldn't succeed with that either.
That's a fabulous save. Sobieski's turning around. He can't believe that he hasn't scored. And it's just pure reactionary from Paul Robinson. Very nearly a costly mistake in the first place from Dominic Matteo to give that free kick away.
Anelka's lost it to Van Boyten. Dominic Matteo with the challenge. What a very nervy start to the second half for Leeds United.
If you're going to give set pieces away, then you've got the likes of Tana with a delivery with his left foot, and you're always going to give yourself problems. And Sobieski knows very well indeed. Perhaps a few question marks about who was supposed to be marking him. But Paul Robinson has just kept his side in the game.
Milner against Dunn. Couldn't quite feed it back into Domi. David James slices his clearance, but he got enough air on it for it not to matter. Johnson, Milner. Run back well by Bosvelt. Now Wright Phillips. Oh, it's a great run again by Wright Phillips. He's got two men ahead of him as well. One of them is Sibierski.
Well, certainly very nearly the man of the moment, Anton Sibierski, on two occasions. This was the first one that he had. The header looks as if it's been well directed, but Paul Robinson really does pull off a fabulous reactionary save. It's more or less straight at him, and then Dominic Matteo just managed to shuffle the ball away to safety. And this is a fabulous run from Sean Wright Phillips. He does pick the right option, and Sibierski takes it first time, perhaps ought to have had another touch.
Scored 5 goals this season, the Frenchman. It is again, finding another Frenchman, Anelka.
Carried on from where they left off in the first period, haven't they, Manchester City? They're playing some super football, really are outplaying Leeds United, who are the home side. Leeds have never really had a period of domination. And Kevin, I'm sure, would have been telling his players at half-time, listen, we've played very well out there, and you're a little bit unfortunate not to find yourselves in front. But just carry on playing the same way, and chances will come.
Well, I know Kevin Keegan feels that Manchester City can finish higher than 9th of last season, which was their best position for 10 years. Might seem a surprising thing to say when so close to the bottom of the table, but he's got enough confidence in his players to believe they can do it. It's the voices of the City fans we can hear at the moment. Smith for Leeds. Disappointing ball by McPhail. Couldn't pick out Pennant. And Leeds have begun the second half as poorly as they started in the first. Well, perhaps that's not giving enough credit to Manchester City.
Yeah, City have played very well. The difference is they kept the ball better. You know, Leeds really, once they've had possession, they seem to have given the ball away. A little bit nervous and edgy. It's understandable, the position that they're in. Manchester City have played with a lot of confidence when they've had the ball.
Dunn's header. Wright Phillips. And Milner still on the ground, injured from that clash of heads, so the referee quite rightly stops play.
He took a bang to the head, I think a bang to the hip as well, James Milner. And that was a very aggressive challenge from Richard Dunn. It's a fair challenge. You would expect him to make those type of challenges.
Eddie Gray's 18th game in charge this tonight. Just 3 wins so far. Player is a legend, of course, and you can find photographs of his playing days all around this famous ground. Appeared over 550 times for Leeds United, and he has managed them once before, back in the 1980s.
We might just have to replace one young player with another young player. Not an awful lot of experience there. Aaron Lennon, still only 16. Simon Johnson, a little bit older. A couple of first-team opportunities.
Johnson returns the ball to David James, and the 18-year-old Milner rejoins the action. He's played in each of the last 22 games now. Anelka up against Corwell. Good ball for Sibierski. He tried to pick out Wright Phillips. It was well spotted by Domi. And Dunn almost got himself in a sticky position there against Viduka.
I just wonder whether he got the shout from the bench, you know. He was saying, get it back to the keeper. And then he deliberated. I don't think he realised where Mark Viduka was. And really got himself into a bit of a tangle, Richard Dunn, but he recovered very well.
Smith falling into Van Boyten, I thought, but the referee has seen it the other way.
A lot of sympathy, you know, for defenders like that. Just have a look at Alan Smith there. Just backs in, backs in, backs in. How are you going to be able to jump for the ball as a defender? No chance.
I think that was a harsh decision. And clearly the Manchester City players do as well. Well, we're going to get a similar situation here because Milner's making his way forward and standing on the post. Just when we thought it was safe to go back into the water, the offside law rears its ugly head again. And Pennant knocks a decent ball in, which has come off this down for a corner.
The problem was really Jermaine Pennant didn't really have an angle to play the ball into the danger area. So it was never going to be as threatening as the one we saw in the first half when Leeds got their goal from.
Well and done, having a little set to before the corner's even taken. And Alan Smith calming things down.
It's a game coming to.
They've left Domis flying in at the back. They were so concentrated on that group of Leeds United players, Manchester City, that Domi was unmarked.
That was a clever set piece. Unfortunately, they can't really find the accuracy. That needs to come back a little bit towards a penalty spot. Domi had a lot of room there.
Pennant. Here's Kelly. Johnson. Crowd warned him that Robbie Fowler was going to make a challenge. He's given it away anyway. Anelka. A great little burst of speed and close control from Anelka. Superb play by him. He picks out Sibierski. It was a good block. Seth Johnson back on the edge of his own penalty box. Matteo in front of him as well. And Wright Phillips. He's got away from Viduka's challenge and keeps going. Oh, it was another good block.
It's an important one because that looked as if it was heading towards the far post. We criticised Sean Wright Phillips in the first half for not hitting the ball back across the keeper. Well, that time he got himself brilliantly into an opening.
Here come Leeds again. Good ebb and flow to this game. Still anybody's points. Colwell. McPhail. And Boyton with a nice little touch for Barton. He's looking to see where Wright Phillips is and realises the cavalry are not going to come to his rescue, so he just keeps going. First time I've ever seen Wright Phillips not get forward in support.
Well, he's just trying to get back from the previous attack.
Exactly, yes. Dominic Matteo's clearance. And the foul goes against Smith.
A good battle that, hasn't it, between Van Boyten and Smith when that ball has been thrown forward. Very commanding presence indeed, Daniel Van Boyten. On loan, of course, until the end of the season. I'm sure Kevin Keegan would love to bring him to the club on a permanent basis.
Dunn's free kick is aimed towards the Belgian. Fail for Leeds. Kelly. Didn't want to find themselves in that corner. Pennant did very well to find a way out through Viduka. McPhail. That's a good ball. Domi. On the wide left. He's tried to pick out Smith. Eventually cleared by Tarnack, but only as far as Domi. Not the most convincing header by him. And he might pay for that. Fowler. Sibierski. Onto Anelka. Good challenge by Kelly to win it back. Pennant for Leeds. It's Leeds throw.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, there is a good flow to this football match. There's some good football play. Predominantly, I've got to say, from Manchester City, they've kept the ball better. You know, with Smith and Viduka, if Leeds can get the right service into the front two, and they will cause problems. But equally, on the other hand, Fowler and Anelka are a big threat.
Fowler adjudged to have made the most of that challenge by Cornwell.
Cornwell's just having one or two words with Robbie Fowler. He felt that the City forward just to take a little bit of a dive there.
McPhail. Gomi. There's Milner. Viduka, a lovely little back heeler, and Smith couldn't take advantage. Van Boyten breaking dangerously. Now Anelka. Van Boyten's just kept going and made the room for Anelka. Here's Sibierski. Robbie Fowler. They just keep getting bodies in the way of these shots, Leeds United.
I think we're still in Cornwell with the block, but you just thought if Nicholas Anelka had got his head up a little bit earlier, Daniel Van Boyten had made a terrific run.
Milner. Leeds have had a couple of let-offs at the start of this second half. Can they take advantage? Not this time. And that's a foul by Milner.
Well, they certainly have played some terrific football tonight, Manchester City. You know, and some of their slick passing from back to front. You see there the confidence they've got. Van Boyten coming out. And that's when you're thinking, is Nicholas Anelka going to get his head up? And then he looks as if he's going to be deliberate there with a strike on goal. And Colwell does very well just to throw his body in the way.
Sibierski's touch onto Fowler. Back again to the Frenchman. He had a lot of time and room to turn and find Wright Phillips. And it's taken a flick off a defender for a corner.
Well, that could quite easily have gone anywhere. Joey Barton just took a gamble when he saw Sean Wright Phillips get the ball. And that got deflected for a corner, but Joey Barton wasn't far away from converting that chance. Some good pressure now from the visitors.
Boyten and Domi and Distan rather both forward again. Cleared only as far as Barton. Here is Van Boyten. And it's come to Anelka.
Good chance. What a good chance, because he gets it out from under his feet. Van Boyten does brilliantly here to keep the ball alive. And it's all Manchester City at the moment. They really are putting a lot of pressure on Leeds. You can see there's no one really around him to put him under any pressure. He gets a good sighter of that. We really do expect him to do better, but he's got the goal. He got them back into this game, and you wouldn't bet against him getting another. And chances are coming thick and fast now for Man City.
His first half goal, by the way, the first he's ever scored against Leeds United in his career in English football.
Incredible, isn't it? 12 attempts for the visitors and only one from Leeds United, but they got that goal. Standing at 1-1, but Eddie Gray, I think a lot of the Leeds fans will be particularly nervous. The amount of possession that Manchester City are getting.
And here's another good ball forward to Barton. Matteo's conceded a corner. Could be an anxious final half an hour here at Allen Road for the Leeds fans. Behind that goal, the travelling Manchester City fans are enjoying themselves. It's a good header away. I think it was Johnson who got there. Oswald. Back to Dunn on the halfway line. Van Boyten stayed forward, but was never going to reach that.
Well, you have to think Leeds are going to have to change it, Alan, because Man City are so dominant at the moment. They have been since the break. Eddie Gray's been around the game an awful long time, but they just have to make it a little bit tighter. Man City are getting far too much domination and possession in that midfield third, and because of that, they're getting a lot of opportunities to get into the final third and cause Leeds bags of problems.
Johnson's header on. Van Boyten is safely back. Distan. Here's Domi for Leeds. Tries to open it up. Fail. That's good play by him. Seth Johnson. Looking for Viduka. Lovely touch again by McPhail. Kelly. Now Viduka up against Distan. Smith's making a run to the near post. That was a great challenge by Distan, and that one as well.
A brilliant play, wasn't it? From Sylvain Distan. You know, not only the first opportunity that he got to tackle, the second one was equally as good, because if he got that wrong, you'd have to think that there was a penalty there for Leeds United. This Pennant was homing in, and if he'd nicked that ball away from the City defender.
Given away by Dunn, however. And a great tackle by Barton to win it back. Here's Wright Phillips. Colwell just got there ahead of him.
Just needed a bit of care with the ball from Nicholas Anelka. It was a fabulous challenge that won the ball back from Joey Barton. You know, I talked about Manchester City dominating that area of the field. Certainly Barton, Sibieski and Bosvelt really have at times controlled.
Here's Joey Barton again. A little flick by Fowler, ineffective, and it's opened up a counter-attack here for Leeds. Viduka. Pennant. Smith wants the ball played early. And Viduka may have been blocked there by Bosvelt from getting onto that through ball.
Did well though, Paul Bosvelt. He just covered the danger, realised that Leeds were getting forward very quickly. That's what I was saying earlier, you know, when Leeds do have possession, they need to be a little bit more productive than what we've seen so far.
There's Anelka. Fowler calling for it and gets it, but not effectively enough as Matteo stepped in. Everyone hesitated, expecting an offside flag that never came.
It's given away cheaply, that's the problem. You know, Alan Smith is looking for Dominic Matteo to play that into the channel. But if you keep giving Manchester City that encouragement to keep getting the ball back, then they'll punish you. We've seen already the amount of goal attempts they've had. We've also seen the amount of possession they've had.
Wright Phillips, they're even getting central defenders forward on a regular basis, like Distan here.
Well, the back four of Leeds United are really under severe pressure. As you rightly said, we've seen Van Boyten come out from the back. We've just seen Distan. And at the moment, it looks as if there's only going to be one winner of this football match, and that's Manchester City.
Bosvelt, back to Fowler. The ball, Barton takes over again and finds Anelka, who finds Fowler! Oh, that could have deflected off him and into the net.
That was brilliant play, wasn't it? So slick, so clever, and very nearly a goal for Manchester City. Just have a look at Michael Tarnat. He's disappointed he hasn't ended up with this ball, because perhaps a little over from Nicholas Anelka would have found Tarnat in a very good shooting position.
Leeds are clinging on by their fingertips here at the moment. And Anelka keeps running here. Good work by Robinson. Very good. Kelly. Pennant. Once again, Manchester City regain possession. Barton to Van Boyten. Clearance has gone to Sibieski. Here's Fowler. It's like training ground football almost from Manchester City. They're just popping the ball around at will, it seems. Right, Phillips, good ball. Here's Anelka. Another important block.
I've got to say, this is as good a away performance I've seen all season. Manchester City have been absolutely superb. In possession, they've been clever. Their passing has been slick, it's been accurate, and they really are the side at the moment that is just totally dominating proceedings.
When you see City play like this, it's hard to believe they're just 3 points above the relegation places. Milner. The linesman has signalled and the referees agreed with him. That should be a Leeds United free kick. City have had away wins at Charlton, Blackburn, Southampton and Bolton so far this season. Also, of course, won FA Cup ties at Leicester and memorably at Tottenham.
I think that Eddie Gray's going to have to change things about, because at the moment, you know, the domination for Manchester City, his side really haven't had an awful lot of the ball. Viduka and Smith are becoming increasingly isolated figures.
Well, there's a threat here from Domi's cross. And they've got a corner out of it.
Well, that's better, isn't it? Got to give the players and fans a little bit more heart. Didier Domi hasn't really had too many opportunities to get this end of the field, because for the best part in the second period he's been defending.
A rare break inside the Manchester City half for the home team then. Colwell. Difficult situation for Eddie Gray and his coach Kevin Blackwell to try and turn the tide here.
It is difficult because he hasn't got an awful lot of experience really on the bench. You know, a couple of youngsters, of course, Lucas Radebe, that has been out for an awful long time, or in and out the side through injury problems. Really looking for some leadership qualities. You know, there's enough experience out there on the park, but somebody has got to stand up, take responsibility, work out the problems that they've got, and try and wrestle the initiative back.
But they've got a chance here from that mistake in midfield. Pennant looking for Viduka. Just shows you how quickly a game can change in one instant. One error in the middle of the field, all Manchester City's good work could have been undone.
Have a look at Richard Dunn here. Oh, it's a clever little ball from Stephen McPhail, but Dunn's presence against Mark Viduka, he looked favourite, didn't he, the big Australian? But Richard Dunn reads the situation superbly well.
Countless efforts on goal, the lion's share of possession, and yet Manchester City could still have been trailing. Anelka. It's been a strange night. He scored a splendid goal, but the rest of his play has been below the standard you expect of him. But I do repeat, he has been out for something like 6 or 7 weeks.
It always takes a little bit of time, doesn't it, to get the feel of the sort of pace of football matches again, especially at this level. He's got the important statistic. He's got that Manchester City goal.
There goes Wright Phillips. Milner back to deny him. City's throw. Foul. And that's Leeds' throw. I think he might get a free kick. Smith. Control that, did he? Well, I was going to say, I thought he controlled it with his hands, but the free kick has gone against Van Boyten again.
Again, it's always a difficult one, isn't it, for referees? You know, you've got defenders working so hard to win the ball back. Alan Smith just trying to barge his way back into the big Manchester City defender, Daniel Van Boyten.
closing down Tarnat. Distan. Anelka with a little deft header.
I'm just beginning to hear the Leeds United fans now, and it's so important, going into this final phase of this match, that they do get behind their team. You know, we've seen it through all the trials and tribulations that their football club has gone through this season. They really have stuck with the side.
Leo Smith, dispossessed by Van Boyten. Kelly. Smith. Well, you could see what he was trying, but it didn't come off.
Well, unfortunately, doesn't quite get his shape right. You rightly said he knows what he's looking for, and that's a spectacular.
Well, it's a day when the new consortium's rescue package for Leeds has been announced, but the best rescue package of all would be staying in the Premiership, of course.
Well, at this stage, it's about not getting beat, because Manchester City have had so much of the ball in the second half. But as we've seen already, you know, games can turn very quickly. And while Leeds haven't been at their best, you know, if they get some decent opportunities, then Viduka and Smith are two quality strikers.
Wright Phillips up against Domi again. Good tackle. Done. Anelka. That's clever. There's a great little header on by Viduka to Smith. And down he goes, and the referee points to the penalty spot. Leeds are off the hook and could be taking the lead.
Well, we had a controversial penalty at St James's Park on Saturday, and I think we're going to have another one here tonight, because Daniel Van Boyten, not an awful lot there, but Alan Smith is very clever. He makes sure that he gets himself across Van Boyten, almost forcing the big Belgian to make a mistake, or certainly get close to him to commit a foul. And for his troubles, not only is he giving a penalty away, he's now got his marching orders. What a massive blow this is to Manchester City. They really have dominated this second half, and now they could find themselves 2-1 down with only a quarter of an hour to go.
Mark Viduka has the responsibility of putting Leeds United in front. If he scores, it has to go down as the most valuable goal Leeds have got all season, and one of the most controversial. City players encroaching into the penalty area, just winding up the nerves again for Viduka, although he's a pretty calm character. He scored in the last 2 games against Manchester City. Can he make it 3 out of 3? He can! What a crucial goal that could be in Leeds United's season.
Well, you're looking for a cool head at moments like that. I talked about the experienced players in the Leeds United team, and Mark Viduka's one. His little flick, and Alan Smith does brilliantly here. And Van Boyten gets across. His contact, is it outside the box? Does Alan Smith stumble in the box? No, he's not happy, and you can understand that from Van Boyten. But it doesn't really matter as far as Leeds United players and fans are concerned. Very composed. 2-1, 15 minutes to go. I just wonder whether that's the goal that's changed the face of Leeds United's fortunes this season.
Well, Manchester City fans, I'm sure, will regard the decision as the wrong one, and the scoreline as in just one. But it's not going to change. Manchester City have a free kick. Double whammy, of course, because they're going to lose Van Boyten as well now to suspension. Their first priority is not to lose this game. Robbie Fowler's effort was well struck. in towards Distan. And then they can break for Leeds United, who lead 2-1 now.
Well, those levels have dramatically increased, and no real surprise. These Leeds fans and certainly the players have now got something to hang on to, and they really need to be disciplined. Man City down to 10 men. Can't really afford to do anything stupid now.
And certainly Manchester City can't afford to be feeling sorry for themselves at the moment.
Well, we can have another look at this, and I think the question for me is the contact outside the box? There's the contact there, and then Alan Smith just stumbles. And that's a big, debatable decision, that. And moments like that, they can make or break your season.
Well, with the benefit of a couple of replays, I think most people will probably agree that the initial challenge came outside the penalty area.
One thing, you know, I saw Mr. Wiley, he seemed to give the decision himself. He wasn't that bothered about looking over for his assistant at the far side. He was very adamant, he made it very quickly.
And Leeds have gleefully accepted the gift. And that clashes once again with Wright Phillips. Domi, Johnson, Viduka, who tucked the penalty away so impressively. A lovely little bounce seemed to be going Leeds United's way at the moment.
Just seems to have gained an extra yard as well, the Leeds players. You know, there's that belief again. Really had it on that many occasions this season. But now perhaps they can just calm down, stay composed, keep the ball. That's the most important thing now. Make Manchester City work. You know, City are down to 10 men, Leeds are 2-1 ahead. You know, don't do anything silly, just keep that ball. And don't give Manchester City any encouragement. Kevin Keegan must be sat absolutely bemused to think that his side are 2-1 down and they've had the majority of the play.
Not the first time that has happened this season to them. Fowler. Anelka. Away by Kelly. Robbie Fowler onto the loose ball. Pennant's taking it off him. Eddie Gray must be wondering why his players weren't doing this well 10 minutes ago.
Well, to be fair to him, you know, we talked about being calm and composed. You know, Manchester City were really giving them all sorts of problems, but you know, he stuck at it. He stayed with 4-4-2. He knew that it was important that they kept their shape, and they got certainly fortuitous with the penalty. To go. A crucial 10 minutes in Leeds United's season, and let's face it, in Manchester City's season. If they lose this, they're very much dragged back into the mire at the end of the Premiership League table. Defeat would mean they would still be only 3 points above the relegation places, and suddenly all the anxiety would be back again. Anelka. Tonak. Now Bosvelt. Here's Barton. Good turn by Joey Barton. Can he get his cross in? But he's got a corner. Took it short for the first time, really. Let's open things up. Might do for Bosvelt. Smacked it straight against his own player this time. And then a wild effort. Well, hasn't even gone out for a goal kick. It's that wild. Well, he needs to do something now, doesn't he, Kevin Keegan?
And that something is to replace Paul Bosvelt with the Chinese international Sun Ji-hai. As though Sun Ji-hai might have gone into right back. I don't know. What do you think he'll do here?
I think he'll go Sun Ji-hai on that right-hand side, and what he'll try and do is get Sean Wright Phillips amongst the strikers. It's important that if they can get him on the ball, and a little bit of space in that midfield area, he can begin to run at people. And we've seen already the type of damage that he can do. I think for the last 10 minutes or so, he really has struggled to get any possession on this right-hand side, especially when he began the half so effectively.
Pennant comes to win it back. Kelly with the long ball. Viduka pursuing it with Distan. A very well-judged header by Barton. Urgency about City's play now. Anelka, Sunji Hai, strong in the challenge. Wright Phillips. And here is Sunji Hai again.
It's poor delivery. What a promising opening that was. It's exactly what I was talking about. Sean Wright Phillips in behind the strikers, getting the ball in that space and running at defenders. It's a fantastic run from Sunji Hai, and this is where he needs a bit of composure and a bit more quality.
Foul on Viduka by Distan. It's all helping Leeds United's cause. Slow it down now. Kelly. Sunji Hai beats Smith to the high ball, but Johnson presents it straight back to Manchester City. Wright Phillips has made a great break down the middle. Here he is.
It was good defending, good covering from Caldwell. But Manchester City are going to give this a real go. If Leeds think that the opposition, which they are down to 10 men, and they're 2-1 down, that they're going to give up, well, they're sadly mistaken, because City really are beginning to go for it the best way they possibly can, and that's throwing bodies into an attacking area.
Well, Manchester City have won only twice in their last 17 league games, and suddenly the 4-1 victory over Manchester United is looking a long, long way away. Quickly things can change in the space of a week in football. Viduka. It's broken for Wright Phillips. 4 men in this attack, Manchester City. Anelka. Distan. That's a foul. Might even be a yellow card for Viduka.
Yeah, tackle from behind, and that looks a bad one as well. Distan was coming into, again, that really important area for Manchester City. And Mark Viduka catches him just above the Achilles tendon. And we've talked about the benefits of free kicks for a side like Manchester City. And there's a few here now looking to take this. Tana, who's come very close in the first 45 minutes when he hit the post. Sobieski is also around the ball.
Minutes to go, and ironically that's the first yellow card of the game. We have, however, seen red. And more to the point, Daniel Van Buiten did.
I'm sure Paul Robinson's shouting to his wall at the moment, you need to do better than what we did in the first half. Because they weren't together. They allowed the strike from Tana to squeeze through him very nearly past Paul Robinson into the back of the net. But it looks like he's just going to try and nudge this Tana for Sobieski. It's a fairly obvious one at the moment.
Leeds were all anticipating that, certainly. Ready to spring from the traps.
Says Johnson is a charger, and what he's trying to do is get past Sunji Hai.
Sobieski's shot. Straight into McPhail. Leeds sitting very deep. Could be a dangerous game. Wright Phillips. There's another foul, this time by Johnson, and it's going to be another card.
Well, you can't afford to give away free kicks in areas that Leeds are doing at the moment. And you think with only 3 or 4 minutes to go, you know, they need to keep their discipline.
And this is a much better position for Tarnat, who's floated it into Sibierski.
Oh,
what a miss!
What a chance. I just wonder whether he was offside. The Leeds players perhaps thought he was, but it's a very clever play, isn't it? And it looks as if he's just onside. Oh, what a chance, Sibierski. There's 2 headers he's had in this second period that he ought to have scored at least 1 from. But it's bright thinking from Michael Tarnat.
Back comes City again. Right Phillips. Sunji High. Anelka, faced by Matteo. Crossed by Sunji High. Sibierski once more was there. Pennant whacks it away. Less than 2 minutes to go at Ellen Road. Plus stoppage time, of course. But fail for Leeds United, who lead 2-1 here. Smith. That's a good ball too for Pennant. Milner's arriving in the box. Smith is in there as well. And Viduka. Oh, he could have been a hero there, young Milner.
Oh, what a chance, but it's a deflection. So a lot of credit goes to Manchester City here, the way that they defended. Brilliant play from Jermaine Pennant on that right-hand side. And Sunji just throws himself at the header from Milner because that had goal written all over it.
Milner again with Smith. He's throw.
Well, we just want to keep it in this corner now and just count the clock down to what would be a memorable 3 points. And a real lifesaver for Leeds United. The predicament that they're in at the moment, they really are scrapping for every point that comes their way.
Aggravation on the way here, I'm sure. They got out of it cleverly, Leeds. Domi. Pennant. Now McPhail. Pennant twisting and turning and keeping possession well. Johnson with an excellent ball for Smith. And Mike Phillips has dispossessed him. Seconds remaining of normal time here. Fowler's made a run. Couldn't pick him out. Colwell's clearance. Now Barton. And McPhail wins it back. The crowd urging Pennant forward, but I'm sure his manager is urging him just to keep possession. However, he's found Viduka and back again to Pennant. Cleared by Sunji High. 2 minutes of stoppage time. That's all Manchester City have got to find an equaliser. Sibierski is done. Good pressure from Leeds. They forced them all the way back. Leeds fans start to celebrate. Here's Smith. Misplaced clearance by Distan. Done there to help him out. Leeds are 60 seconds away from a big, big win. And it goes towards Anelka. Headed away by Matteo. And poor clearance has given the ball back to Leeds United. Milner. He was caught there by Sunji High.
Well, the youngster did very well there, didn't he, James Milner? Just trying to kill the pace of the game. He knows that City are so anxious to win the ball back and try and attack again. And at times you'd think that it was actually Leeds United who were down to 10 men, such as Manchester City's attacking play. But you'd have to say over the course of this game, you know, Kevin Keegan, I'm sure will say afterwards, how have they lost this football match? It's so much possession, so much domination.
Here's a chance for Smith. Looks suspiciously like a handball. Right Phillips. Sunji Hai. The Leeds fans whistling for the final whistle.
This is the last chance now, isn't it, for Manchester City? I'm sure David James will take this. They'll get everybody forward. And this is where Leeds need to hold a very good line here. 18-yard, don't get pushed back.
David James delivers it as deep as he can. Up goes Sibierski. Smith whacks it clear. And suddenly, there's another break on for Viduka, who's got Pennant up in support and almost found him.
Yeah, did well, didn't he, Sean Wright Phillips? I'm sure he would have impressed Sven-Göran Eriksson this evening.
The rescue act is underway off the field, and the rescue act is underway on it. The new chairman leads the celebrations. Leeds United are now 2 points away from safety. Mark Viduka's winning goal from the penalty spot has given them 3 precious, precious points. Only their 6th victory in 29 league games this season. And Manchester City find themselves back in trouble. Only 2 wins in the last 18 league games now for Kevin Keegan's team, who themselves are just 3 points above the relegation places. Manchester City will feel aggrieved at the way the winning goal came about and annoyed that all their chances failed to produce a goal in a second half they largely dominated. But the celebrations belong to Leeds United here at Ellen Road tonight. They have beaten Manchester City by 2 goals to 1.